Hey everyone, my name is Caleb Gregory, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create massive wealth selling options. And I got plenty of screen sharing, some specifics on how to do it, and I'm going to lay it all out for you. But first, just to give you my background, I've been selling options for a handful of years now, 6 years full time. I run the options premium group, so we help other funded investors who are ready to start their journey implement our strategies onto their portfolios so that they can see returns. Our worst year since going live is a 44% ROI. So we far out compound the S&P 500, which averages about 10% a year. So obviously, the higher you can compound your money, the faster you achieve wealth. And of course, selling options has the two-pronged effect of increasing your wealth, but generating cash flow. So as your net worth number goes up in your account, so does your cash flow, which is great, right? Because it can bridge the gap between our retirement accounts, can lead to early retirement. It just gives you all kinds of flexibility in your financial situation. So I want to go right into screen share my broker and just show what it looks like, how it works, and just give you a real-time live example. So if you look here, I've already defaulted to a stock. So I wanted to use one that was a realistic stock for most people watching. So this stock is going to require a little over $6,000 to actually sell an option on. So a huge thing to understand, the sell side of options is a pretty conservative approach to investing. A lot of people do not even know it exists because the buy side is like the gambler side and all that. I like to pose it as we are the casino and we allow the gamblers to speculate on our assets. So you always start with selling puts, and you go to trade XYZ options, you go to sell and put. And we'll take this out to November 21st since we're already into the week a little bit. And so basically, I look at these contracts and these are all the prices on the left. It's the strike price that I can agree to buy these shares for, potentially buy these shares for, because selling at a put is an agreement to potentially buy these shares at that price. So let's say I choose the $64 strike price. So I give myself a little room, stock's at 66.80. I would only have to purchase 100 shares of XYZ if the stock falls below this point on November 21st. So if it stays above that point, I am very likely not going to buy any shares. But if it goes below, I'm simply going to convert my $6,400 into 100 shares. And just for taking on that risk, if you go all the way to the far right, I get $1.21 per share or $121. And if you do the quick math, that's just under a 2% ROI for less than 2 weeks of business days of tying up your money. So, which breaks out roughly to around 1% a week. So, if you compound 1% a week, incredibly powerful. Now, obviously, that's not cut and dry, but what I like about this is if you click on this contract, you can actually get the math. The delta gives you the rough math, which is the inverse number here to get you to one. So it gives us around a 70% chance, to be exact, about a 69.5% chance of this contract expiring in our favor, which just simply means at the end of this contract, we get our $6,400 back. In addition to that, we keep the $121 that we receive. Now, if we end up owning shares, meaning we take our $6,400 and we buy shares, we still keep this $121 that we are paid. So if you end up keeping your cash, you just repeat the same motions next week, whether it be on this stock, a different stock, or as your account grows, a handful of stocks. But if you end up owning shares, you would now flip to selling calls. And so now you kind of flip the equation upside down. You own the shares, you want to be at higher prices. So if you own the shares at 64, you want to sell a contract anywhere above that. And you're going to get paid simply for doing so. So that's the beautiful part of selling options. And you continue to sell calls every single week until you sell your shares for a profit. So every week that they do not get sold for a profit, you're collecting cash flow, building up your cash hoard in your account. And that's how your account grows, is because the more cash flow you bring in, the larger your account grows, The larger your account grows, the more contracts you can take, which means the more cash flow you can bring in. So, um, if you run some of this through a compound interest calculator, which I've got here, let's start with a modest amount of $10,000. Let's say you can commit to adding $1,000 a month to that account or $12,000 a year. And let's give it a good 10 years to grow. And while I would not bank on earning 44%, this is the lowest ROI we've had doing this because we understand how to pick stocks, which is the most important part. Actually, everything, your success in this strategy boils down to if you can pick stocks well enough, meaning stocks that aren't going to sink because that's when it leaves you dead in the water. This will give you $1.849 million in 10 years' time at 44% ROI. If we get a little more conservative with it and go 30%, you still have 802,000. At $802,000, you would target $4,000 to $8,000 a week. Obviously, if we can hit our marks, once again, this is the least we've earned. If we can just continue hitting that year in and year out, $1.8 million should generate you anywhere from $10,000 to $18,000 per week, which is crazy. So that's kind of the compounding behind it. Obviously, the key is here, and I'm not sitting here telling you that this is guaranteed, but I am telling you it's just simply our results. And if you don't believe me, I've posted every single trade on my website. And they're all, here you see November 10th, you see this year's trades, this past week's trades. You can go all the way back. We have over 2,000 trades dating all the way back to the beginning of 2023 on my website, which is Options Premium Group. I'll link that in the description here on TikTok. And you can just see we got a video library where, we teach this stuff. We have live meetings, things like that, a blog where we write all of our different things. But yeah, this is kind of the base because we share all of our trades with people in real time. And obviously, there's a cost that comes with this. And I'm not necessarily here to promote this, but just to show you that you can verify our return because they were all posted in real time on our website. And not only that, we have hundreds of members that can corroborate it. They also have taken these trades and generated these returns. And oftentimes they do better than I do because I target conservative and realistic contracts. And sometimes they'll be a little bit more aggressive. So I say all that to say you should commit to building an option selling an account. Lump sum some money in there if that's 5,000, 10,000, whatever you can afford, and then commit to adding new money to it every single month in addition to the revenue generated within the account. If you need or want help, you can use the comment button here on YouTube, but also you can join our subscription group. I'll be sure to link that here in this video so that you can check it out, get signed up. And actually, I'll drop a little nugget right now. If you use the code FIRST50, FIRST50, you can get 50% off your first month. You can try it at a cheaper rate to see that it does work. We don't want anybody there spending their hard-earned money on something that doesn't work. So we're willing to let you try it at a cheaper price just to reassure you that it does work and you're not wasting your funds and money. So build this, learn how to do it correctly. That's where we hope to come in and help you. But it can create massive wealth and massive compounding if you commit to it. And I use pretty small numbers. If you can start with 50,000, 100,000 and add two, three, $4,000 a month, the numbers can get pretty stupid. So commit to growing it, commit to building it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to bring you more options content soon. That's my goal. Until then, have a great day.